Let's hit the field.
It is Monday, June 23rd, and the Yankees were taking on the Reds in Game 1 of a 3-game set from Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Aaron Judge got things started right away with a dinger, but could the Yankees hang on behind Allan Winans? My recap and your reactions coming up next. This is Pinstripe Territory.
Just wanted to talk, that's all.
Well, that sucked. That one sucked. That one started off like a tease. Judge goes deep in the first inning. Classic tone setter. You're thinking, all right, Great American Ballpark, here come the Bronx Bombers. And then they do not score for the rest of the evening. They drop a 6-1 defeat to the Cincinnati Reds, who are now 41-38. Yankees fall, and they are now 45-33. They're up by 2 games on the Rays. Bats just turned into wet spaghetti tonight. Limp, lifeless, unseasoned. After the Judge homer, they basically packed up their gear mentally, it looked like, and started thinking about, that hotel room AC. I know it was hot tonight, and they looked like they didn't want to be there. As for Winans, he actually came out looking sharp, I thought. First couple of innings, he looked like he had a little something going. He had a 9-pitch inning. He had a 6-pitch inning. And we'll spotlight him later, but by the 4th inning, the wheels just absolutely fell off. Honestly, it just felt like one of those movies where the first 10 minutes are good, solid setup, intriguing hook, and then about halfway through, you're sitting there like, what am I watching? Why am I still watching this? So 6-1 defeat, uninspired, and yeah, not exactly a recap that requires forensic level analysis.
All right, let's go. Let's get it going.
And we got some super chats coming here. Rowdy, I'm not going to put it on screen but he says that game was a blank burger with deluxe extra cheese. Yeah, not good. Okay, so Judge didn't waste any time. Home run number 28 in the first inning. I predicted 2 home runs today from him, and he actually almost hit 2 in his first 2 at-bats. Second at-bat, he hit one that went the exact same distance as his home run, but it stayed in the ballpark because he hit it to center field. And it looked like, he was sharp early. Winans, like I said, really good early, but the Reds got to him in the 4th inning. Gavin Lux took him deep on a 0-2 pitch, which is just, you can't do that. That's why they call it a waste pitch. But Reds tacked on a couple of runs. Yankees turned a couple of double plays, which was nice, but Volpe threw one away. He also threw his bat away twice. And, the Yankees were just sleepwalking through this one. The 6'10 Stig says, get Volpe off this team. If you're going to play a shortstop who can't hit, at least play one who can field. Peraza, that Gold Glove was enhanced by artificial scoring. I'm going to disagree. And then got another one here about Volpe. It says he's almost there. I thought he actually hit one well to the right side that the guy was just positioned perfectly on. But yeah, defensively, I mean, that didn't cost us the game. Obviously, it's not a play that you want him to make, but just a really, really ugly night. MLB Channel says, man, what's up with Volpe? He's catching a lot tonight. I mean, this was not on Volpe. It was on the entire team just having no energy whatsoever tonight. I mean, they looked like they were asleep. They did get 8 hits, but they pretty much scattered 8 hits. Bellinger, one of the only guys who did anything, he had 3 hits tonight. Dominguez had a couple of hits, but, I mean, looking at the box score, nothing from Jazz, nothing from Volpe. Wells had a single. LeMahieu did nothing. Goldschmidt went 0 for 5. Rice didn't pick up a bat. He's been on fire the last couple of days. I thought we would see him at some point, and we did not. So, hey, tough night. Let's talk about Allan Winans real quick, and then we'll get Frankie on for a quick 15-20 minutes. So, Winans, 7-0 record with a 0.90 ERA in AAA. And you always wonder how something like that's going to translate when you put him up against big league hitters. And tonight we saw that this is not Scranton Wilkes-Barre, right? 9-pitch, easy 1-2-3, first inning. At that point, you're thinking, all right, 81-pitch, perfect game. We found Kong. But he allowed a base hit in the second, erased him with a double play, almost turned 2 double plays that inning. But that was pretty much the end of the good news for the Yankees. Reds got 3 in the 4th, and then final line for Winans was 4 1/3, 5 hits, 4 runs, no walks, 1 strikeout, just 62 pitches. So a disappointing start for Allan Winans in his Yankees debut. Let's go to Frankie, see how he's feeling about it. Frankie, you look troubled, my friend. You look troubled.
Yes, I'm very troubled. I am disgusted. I am deflated. I'm a lot of different words right now. Let me just start you with this tweet that I found. I think Max Goodman tweeted this out. The Yankees entered play tonight since the last game of the World Series, June 12th. They entered play tonight hitting 189 with a league worst 432 OPS and 12 WRC plus with runners in scoring position over their last 11 games. And tonight, you can add to that, they were 0 for 12 with runners in scoring position. And when I saw that tweet, I could not believe it was that high. I could not believe that it was 189 because it feels, I can't remember the last time. It seemed like, I guess yesterday, but it seems so rare that we get a hit with runners in scoring position right now. The offense is abysmal. It is sad. And you know what? I was watching Foul Territory today, and they were talking about Chase Burns is making his debut tomorrow, top prospect for the Reds. And they were saying, why would you go up against the Yankees? Like his first start, you're playing against the Yankees?
Because they're not hitting.
They're playing the Yankees right now? Yeah, this is the perfect team to go up against. This team can't hit for nothing. Don't bother with, it's going to be okay. Like you can put him out there. He's going to be fine the way this team is hitting right now.
I'm looking forward to seeing. I like to see young pitchers, make their debut. It's not going to be easy for him. I mean, he's facing a number of accomplished hitters, but right now the Yankees just aren't clicking. And I thought, after a couple of big games there, we had 7 runs. I want to say, what was it, Thursday, and then we had 9 runs on Saturday. Big comeback win on Sunday. I thought maybe, hey, 3 out of 4, maybe the offense was going to get going, but just couldn't get it going. So here's we're going to call about Judge from Mo.
Hey, Derek. Mo from the Bronx again. I was the one that talked about how Judge can be clutch in the Mo with runners on base. I still go by that, but before you cut me off, because I feel like that's what you usually do. He's got to stop swinging at the first pitch with the runners on base, man.
I agree with that.
Spots, and you cannot just swing at a first pitch sinker in on your hands. Like, that's just unacceptable. You can't be doing that. And there's also 1 out. It's not like it's 2 outs. You have to get a hit. How do you not know he's not scared to, pitch to you? What if...
All right, Mo, we're going to cut you off. All right, so here's a perfect example. Frankie, do you think I cut people off too soon?
I don't think so. I mean, it doesn't seem like it.
It's impossible for you to tell because you can't hear the end of it. But as someone who hears these voicemails, let me just let you, just a little peek behind the curtain of the Wizard of Oz here. Most people run out of things to say long before they stop talking. That's just how it goes. Me included a lot of times. That's why I keep my shows to a nice manageable 20 minutes. I wouldn't be able to do one of these 2-3 hour live streams because I would run out of words. I only know so many words, Frankie. But Judge, every time he fails with runners on base or with runners in scoring position, people say he can't hit in the clutch, right? What's it going to take? I mean, he pretty much has to win the Yankees a World Series the way A-Rod did for people to forgive him. I feel like after A-Rod had that monster postseason in 2009, a lot of that talk about him not being clutch kind of went away. That's the only thing that's going to make this dark cloud kind of go away for Judge, I think. Even if he has a monster season, 62 home runs again, whatever, that's what it's going to take.
Absolutely, 100%. And I'm sorry, Mo. Why are we complaining about Judge tonight when he was one of the only ones who actually showed up tonight on offense,
right,
hitting that home run early? Why are we complaining about him doing that tonight? Just seems rough. I will say the one positive from tonight, other than, I guess we can also point out Bellinger had a great night as well. The MVP race was closing up a little bit. Cal Raleigh had a great weekend. It started to look like, maybe a tie. And then Judge reminded him tonight, you're going to have to take the AL MVP away from my cold, dead hands. Because right out of the play, I don't know what the feet was on that or how long that was. It felt like it went.
It was only 398. It was only 398. I think it went higher than it went far. It was, he tagged it. It looked like it went, but it was just one of those really, really high. I was at a game. It was back in that 2008 game where Johnny Damon went 6 for 6 and walked off. It was like a classic Yankees game. A-Rod hit one in that game that bounced into the left field bleachers that went so high, Frankie. It got higher than the top of the stadium. I was amazed at how high he hit. I didn't know human beings could do that, and it still carried all the way out. The A-Rod was just unbelievable. But yeah, Judge does the same type of thing where he'll if he gets a lot of backspin, it'll just go really, really high. All right, we got a call here from Miguel.
What's going on, Derek? What's going on, Derek? This is Miguel, long-time listener. A couple of times calling now. Yeah, the Yankees, every time there's nobody on base, they're the hit kings, the home run kings. But as soon as there's men on base, we become the worst batters in the world. Especially when there's a man on third and less than 2 out. We can never get the run in. It's just pissing me off at this point how we cannot hit with runners on base, man.
All right, so I'm going to stop you right there. I mean, as Frankie pointed out, the tweet from Max Goodman, to me, it's an organizational thing. You see other teams shorten up with guys on base. Like, if you watch a team like the Guardians, for example, or, I mean, I'm trying to think of other teams that do it well. The Padres do it well. The Dodgers do it really, really well. Where if you get guys on base, the approach kind of changes. You're not trying to take your 3-run home run. The Yankees believe that if they take their A swing and they try and hit as many home runs as possible, they're going to run into 3-run home runs and win games that way. And they do win a lot of regular season games that way. But that doesn't always work in the postseason against great pitching. It doesn't work when a pitcher's on, or the team is kind of, in a slide. You've got to have guys that are willing to, sacrifice the home run and do something for the team to, move runners over, get runners in. What are your thoughts, Frankie?
I think this team could greatly benefit from this thing called a sac fly, because it seems like they have not done that at all over the last 2 weeks. I mean, when was the last time? How many times recently? A guy on third. It's 1 out, 2 out, no outs. You just need to bring him. Nope. Strike out, ground out, whatever it is. And as you mentioned, yeah, it gets you a lot of regular season wins. That's the key word. Regular season. What happens in the postseason? It doesn't work. No championships in 15 years. I don't care how many regular season wins we get with this, analytic formula, whatever we do. It is shown now to not work in the postseason, and that's why it annoys me and it frustrates me. This team's continued failed, not being able to do fundamentals and the just over reliance on analytics that just does not work in the postseason.
Yeah,
ticked off. I remember a couple weeks ago, Derek, we were talking, and I was like, I've got nothing to complain about, and that went away. Like, right now, I can't stand this team again.
Yeah, well, the only thing that worked in the postseason last year was that we had a red-hot Giancarlo Stanton, right? He saved our ass. Otherwise, we might have lost in the first round, to be honest. So let's hear from Brian.
What's going on, Derek? It's about to be the top of the 8th inning here. The boys look kind of dead every time we get runners on. It seems like we get a little bit too big for our britches.
Yeah, too big for your britches. That's a phrase that you don't hear too often, but appreciate Brian dropping that classic on here. We've got a call about Ian Hamilton.
Derek, Ian Hamilton has to go. When they get
scoreless
somebody
innings, by the way.
In the bullpen, when they add somebody to the bullpen, he's got to be the guy to be replaced. He is the weak link.
Well, I won't argue with you that he has not been great, but he did throw 2 scoreless innings tonight. We get a lot of calls like somebody throws 2 bad pitches. Their first, when they first come into the game, get rid of this guy! This guy's got to go! He's 2-0 on the counter. Are you fucking kidding me? And then like he strikes out the side or something. I get a lot of that. But hey, it is what it is. We want people to call in. We want people to have a good time. Just make sure that what you think is going to go down, it goes down, right? I mean, let's make sure. Willie did have a good take here.
Hey, Derek, it's Willie. I mean, they had nobody else to bring in the pitch today. Doesn't make sense. Gives up a home run on the 0-2 pitch. I hate that.
Yeah, I hate it too. 0-2 pitch home run. Hey, get ready, because we're going to have probably Marcus Stroman here pretty soon. Frankie, I think we need to go out and get Freddie Peralta. I think Freddie Peralta would be perfect for this team. The energy, the stuff. I mean, he's a good pitcher. He's obviously not going to be cheap, so the Yankees would have to, kind of overpay, I think, a little bit, especially to get them to move him early. But hey, we got Spencer Jones, got 15 home runs in Double-A now. Maybe we can talk them into. Yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I would gladly take Freddie Peralta right now. I mean, right now I'll take anybody. Nolan Ryan, if you want to come out of retirement, I'll take anybody. But as long as this team is not hitting, then it really doesn't matter. But yeah, Peralta would certainly help out this team. I still got to wonder who that number 3 guy is. I thought this guy tonight was going to be it. I jokingly said after once, maybe he'll be a 3 guy, and then he just gives up like 3 or 4 runs, and that's the end of that. So yeah, I guess Heel is still the favorite for the number 3 starter, but still got a long way to go to figure out who that's going to be.
All right, so we just got a comment about Jason Dominguez's arm, and I just want to show that like what recency bias is. He didn't make a great throw tonight, so this guy says, Edgar Ortiz says, Dominguez looks terrible out there, no arm whatsoever. And I just got to say, I mean, if you look at the stats, he's got a great arm. He's in the top 12% of the league in terms of his arm strength. He's gotten much better defensively. They talked tonight about how much better his jumps have been, how much better he looks like more comfortable. He also had 2 hits tonight. Look, we can't blame tonight on Dominguez. Tonight is the fault of a few things. One, that we don't have pitching depth beyond Allan fucking Winans. Like, I mean, come on. I mean, I get he was 7-0 in AAA, but Allan Winans, let's go. And then the guy barely broke barely break a window with his fastball. 2, we didn't hit with runners in scoring position. We had plenty of opportunities. Tonight was more of that organizational approach letting us down, just not, going after the runs and going after the home run instead, not trying to go after productive baseball. So quick word from HelloFresh, and then Frankie and I will finish off here. 5 more minutes, take a few more comments, leave your final thoughts in the chat.
People liked this last time, so we're going to do it again. Read one of the fantastic, unique, creative recipes, dishes on HelloFresh. Creamy Alfredo truffle cavatappi pasta?
Cavatappi, maybe? But I'll just go with the Indian-inspired chicken paired with turmeric rice. That sounds awesome. And everything about this is delicious, fresh, comes in a little bag. And I like to cook, so I like to chop up the ingredients. I like to throw stuff in the pan, mix it up. It makes me feel like I'm doing something, Scott, and they always come out amazing.
Yes, you can be a star at home with America's #1 meal kit. Make your summer enjoyable and delicious by signing up for HelloFresh at HelloFresh.com/FT10FM and get 10 free meals with a free item for life. That's HelloFresh.com/FT10FM for 10 free meals and a free item in every box. 1 per box with an active subscription. Free meals are applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only. Varies by plan.
All right. We're going to bring back Frankie here. Mr. Frankie, there he is. All right, Frankie. So what's on your mind, man? How'd you feel about the finals, the NBA finals there?
Disappointed because, like so many basketball fans, I was so hyped for this game. I thought it was going to be a classic, considering how great the series has been. And then the second that Halliburton's Achilles popped, you felt horrible for him, even though I'm a Knicks fan. And he destroyed me in the conference finals. I felt terrible for him because he's a great player, seems like a great guy. And to see him in Game 7 of the finals have that injury was just brutal. And I do hope if there's anything good that can come out of this, hopefully basketball teams will be more careful of resting guys with calf injuries, because we've seen this now with KD, Halliburton. We've seen a couple guys suffer Achilles injuries this postseason.
Tatum. I mean, same postseason. It's crazy how many Achilles problems. I remember when Dan Marino tore his Achilles back in the early 90s. His career was already kind of on the downside at that point, and he wasn't exactly known as a mobile quarterback, but that was pretty much the end of Dan Marino as a productive player at that point. So it could be a really tough injury. I mean, Rodgers, how did he look after he came back? I mean, not great. It's a tough injury.
He was not great, but then again, he was also on the Jets, so maybe you're just cursed for being on that team. We'll see how he does here in Pittsburgh. But yeah, I think we've seen the best of Rodgers. So, but congrats to Oklahoma City. They were the best team all year, and they deserved the NBA championship. It was just a disappointing way for what has been a great postseason and a great finals for it to end like this.
Bina Berna says, I'm surprised Dominguez hasn't gone yard since the walk-off home run. Yeah, I find that. I thought he'd hit for more power. I really did. I think it will come because he has power, but hitting for power, hitting home runs is a skill. What I'm seeing from him is a guy who has patient at-bats, so he's definitely got that skill, which is a hard skill to pick up. He hits the ball hard. He's got good bat speed. but he's still learning as a major league hitter, and he's 22 years old. So, I mean, he's going to have a better year than Volpe did at 22. So hopefully he can progress more as well. I think we're seeing improvements from him defensively. I mean, he's not the world's best defender, but contrary to what that guy said earlier, he's got a good arm. The range isn't great, but a lot of that is just the reads that he gets on baseballs. But I think he's getting better at that, as Paul O'Neill said. By the way, I love Paul O'Neill in the booth.
Yes. He's terrific. He's fantastic. Like, they were just having so much fun tonight. And also, I love that he was the Name That Yankee. The easiest Name That Yankee since they've been doing this segment was then giving it to Paul O'Neill. I wanted to ask you. You brought up Volpe. I wanted to ask. Every year since we've been doing talking about Yankees for a while, you've been doing the show for a long time. It seems like every year there is one Yankee who is the punchline, who is every Yankee fan just like he's the one
Hicks,
that we all
Donaldson, IKF,
Hicks, Gary Sanchez was that.
Gary Sanchez.
Is it fair to say now, and maybe it's unfair to have him, but is it fair to say that Volpe is now that guy? And do you think that is unfair for him to be the punchline? Because it seems like every time we have a bad loss, the Yankee fans direct their fire mostly at him.
I do feel like he is becoming that guy that catches the most hate from the fans right now. I'm not sure if it's unfair. I mean, he's in year 3. He's a professional athlete. I mean, how many other professional athletes do we, keep babying for years and years and years? I mean, you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, baby. I mean, that's what it is. He plays shortstop in the toughest market in the major leagues. We expect a lot. And when you make errors in big spots and you don't improve and you get away from your game and you do things at work and then you get away from them, and it frustrates fans. And I get that fans are upset. I'm still sticking with the kid. I think he's going to be a good player, but it's going to take longer than I think we all hoped. But
tonight,
anyway,
recently I've been thinking, is this the kind of he does a lot of good things and there's a lot of good moments for him. But tonight I was thinking, do I want to see this guy on my team 5, 6, 7 years from now? If he keeps playing like this, now I can't imagine that he's going to. I imagine there'll be some improvement. But I was thinking, like, in some of those Gary Sanchez moments, I hate to compare the two, but where you just like the bad overweighs the good. If this keeps up, like, I don't know if I want to watch this guy long term. I mean, he's going to be our shortstop for this year and for next year, but I'm starting to have doubts about him, and I hate it. I love the kid. I want him to be our guy, but it's just.
I think eventually he's a second baseman. I think eventually he goes to second base and Lombard takes over at short. That's the most likely scenario, and I think he might even do better at second base. Right? He's got range. He doesn't have a great arm. I think making the throw from at furthest second base will be much easier for him than getting those ones in deep shortstop. And I think his offense profile's better at second base, and Lombard looks like he could be a legit stud. And he had a good night tonight, a couple of hits. But all right, Frankie, thanks for joining here. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow after the game, hopefully with better results. We got Carlos Rodon going up against one of the most heralded rookies that you're going to see. So could be an interesting night either way. We'll catch you next time. Appreciate it, Frank.
Thank you.
If you made it this far, do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and join our community. You can also be a part of the show by calling in at 718-899-1068. Also, part of the way that we maintain and fund all of this is through NYYDesigns.shop. Check it out now. Get all sorts of fun Yankees merch, hats, hoodies, zip-ups, beanies, mugs, you name it. We've got it. Check it out, NYYDesigns.shop. And check out Pinstripe Territory on all your favorite podcast platforms. We are the official Yankees podcast of the Foul Territory Network. We're here for post-game shows after every single game, and we're here before a lot of games to talk about the game, preview the lineup, the pitching matchups, and things like that. And we're here all off-season to talk about the latest in Yankees rumors, news, etc. Join our community. We'll see you next time.